Year 11, I'm making a couple of videos. I'm going to be away for a couple of days at the moment. So this new chapter we're starting today is on measurement and energy. Okay, and we're going to start with units of measurement. And most of it's going to be about converting between different units of measurement. For example, you might be converting between distance units, centimetres, metres, kilometres, millimetres, all those sorts of things. Maybe you're looking at some weights. We've got tons and grams and kilograms and milligrams and micrograms, or volume like litres, millilitres, area, hectares, what would I say, bytes, so I guess measurements of data storage and time. So a lot of converting between measurements. Now you've done a lot of this, so I'm not going to take a long time with this video. I'm going to start with length, okay? Now I'm going to jump around your guided notes. I'm going to do length first. So we're familiar with millimetres, centimetres, metres and kilometres. Okay, and we should be remembering to turn millimetres into centimetres, divide 10, divide 100 centimetres to metres, divide 1,000. I like to use these diagrams to help me convert between different metric units. So let's go. If I've got to convert 170 centimetres into metres, this is what I'm going to do. So centimetres to metres, I'm going to think, here's my 170 centimetres and I've got to go to metres. I'm going to follow the arrow to get to metres. The arrow says divide by 100. So 170 divided by 100 is 1.7 or 1.70. All right. Next one, this time I'm going to take those 170 centimetres and turn them into millimetres. So here again, but I'm going this way to millimetres and I have to times by 10. So I'm following my arrows, timesing by 10, and I get 1,700 millimetres. All right. So there's absolutely nothing new here. All right. Now I'm going to do the last example. I'm going to see how many centimetres 170 centimetres is as kilometres. So I'm going to go double jump. So I'm going to do whatever it says. I'm going to take 170, I'm going to divide by 100, then I'm going to divide by 1,000. And I'll get quite a small number. Okay. Now, length is the only annoying one. We have a metric system. Our metric system is based on 1,000. Okay. So millimetres, metres, kilometres, megametres, everything's based on 1,000. Because we throw centimetres in here for length, it throws it out. Divide 10, divide 100. All our other units that we might talk about, or measurements, we're going to use this 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Okay, we just change metres here to whatever units we're talking about. So I'm going to look at area. Okay. So I've gone back to that old millimetres, centimetres, metres. Okay, so I've got the same jumpy story, except when I'm talking area, I'm talking millimetres squared, centimetres squared, everything's squared. So I'm going to square all the actions along my arrows. Okay, so if I take 40,000 centimetres squared and turn them into metres squared, I'm going to go this way and I'm going to divide by 100 to the power of 2. When I do that, I get 4. I could also do this. I could also go 40,000 divided by 100 once, divided by 100 twice. Okay, I can also do that. So if I'm going to turn 40,000 centimetres squared into millimetres squared, I'm going to follow that arrow. And I'm going to times it by 10 to the power of 2, or I'm going to times it by 10 twice, and I'm going to get 4 million millimetres squared. Okay, so I'm using the same jumpy story, but because it's squared, I've got squares on everything. Same with volume, right? So the same millimetres, centimetres, metres, kilometres. We know that volume is to the power of 3, so everything is going to be to the power of 3 this time. So if I have 800 centimetres cubed, and I'm turning them into millimetres cubed, I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to take 800 and times it by 10 to the power of 3. I get 800,000. If I want to see what 800 centimetres cubed is as kilometres, I'm going to go this way. double jump. Okay, and I'm going to do what it says. 800 divided by 100 to the power of 3 divided by 1,000 to the power of 3. And I'm going to get a tiny number, okay, which it didn't actually look like this on my calculator. My calculator said 8 times 10 to the negative 13, which is like 12 noughts and then my 8. All right, and we'll do more of this scientific or standard notation as we go through the topic. So that's length, area and volume. If we now talk about maths, I'm going back to this universal one, and instead of meters, I'm going to put grams. So this would be milligrams, kilograms, megagrams. I can go further. I can go micrograms. I can go gigagrams. All right, we can go further both ways, but these are the units that we mostly deal with. And if I'm going to turn 5.2 kilograms into grams, all right, I'm going to just do what it says. Times by 1,000, 5,200 grams. If I'm going to turn 3,850 kilograms into tons, I have to know, tons is our common name for megagrams, all right? So I'm going to go 3,850 kilograms and I'll divide it by 1,000 and it'll tell me it's 3.85 tons. So tons is like a megagram or 1,000 kilos. All right, volume, but this time I'm talking about like measurements of liquids, I guess, really. So instead of grams, I'm going to use that universal one. I'm going to put litres in. So millilitres, litres, kilolitres, megalitres. 5.2 kilolitres into litres. So I'm going to put 5.2 here. Okay, I'm going kilolitres to litres. I'm going that way, so I'll times it by 1,000. 5,200 litres. But if I've got this many kilolitres and I want to know how many mils, so I'm going to put it near my kilos. Mils, jump it twice. Do what it says, times it by 1,000, times it by 1,000, and I get 700 millilitres. All right, something to help you with area. Hectare might come up. You need to know what a hectare is. I always try and remember a hectare is 100 metres by 100 metres. Okay, so a hectare is 100 metres by 100 metres, and if you times that out, 1 hectare is 10,000 square metres. It's a way I try and remember how many square metres in a hectare. Okay, so it's 100 by 100. And another thing that I try and remember, especially if I'm like doing an assessment or a test and I'm panicking, going, oh my gosh, I can't convert litres and grams. How am I going to do that? I remember for water, and it's the only thing that this works for, that 1 gram of water is the same as 1 mil of water, and it's the same as 1 cubic centimetre of water. So quite often we're asked to convert maybe litres to cubic metres or mils to centimetres cubed. I remember the thing for water. 1 gram is 1 mil is 1 cubic centimetre. All right, now you've got guided notes to complete, and then you can start working through the questions on exercise 4A.